Very good afternoon and welcome to Meadowbank, home of Dorking Wanderers, where at the minute we are battling with the rather loud PA system, but things should settle down. Pre-season just over halfway through, a couple of weeks to go until the business end of the start of the season commences. Dorking, that'll be away at Chippenham. Aldershot will be away at Altrincham in the National League. Dorking, of course, will be competing in the National League South once again. Contrasting ends to the season for both clubs. Dorking making the playoffs in that crazy finish in the National League South, where very few points separated the top six going into the final day. And ultimately, despite being 3-1 up with less than 10 minutes to go, the playoff dreams of Dorking Wanderers were shattered before a 5-4 who went on to complete their return journey to the National League, where they'll play this season. The Shots, of course, while they were in the National League, they finished 16th, but finished the season on the highest of all highs at Wembley, lifting the FA Trophy in front of 18,000 of the red and blue faithful. Both sides have had good pre-seasons today. I think largely Dorking Wanderers have a fit bill of health. Shots have picked up a rather serious-looking injury to Josh Brooking, ironically a former Dorking Wanderers player. But other than that, seem to have come through unscathed. Both sides have got into the winning habit in pre-season as well. Both managers will tell you it's not particularly about the results at this stage. More about the fitness, more about the workout, and all about being able to hit the ground running on August the 9th. I'm Rob Worrell. There were tentative plans for a Dorking Wanderers player to be alongside me this afternoon. They do appear to have fallen through. But no worries, happy to keep you company for the afternoon. And a rather unique commentary today because we are commentating for BBC Radio Surrey live online. We're also commentating for Dorking Wanderers live stream of all the action this afternoon. If you are watching on the live stream, welcome. You may see things that I don't. I'll give you my best and most honest account of the afternoon's events. I won't have the benefit of replays. So it'll have to be what I see with my naked eye. I'll run through the teams with you guys in just a couple of minutes. When they come out, I see Mark White and the Dorking Wanderers management team just making their way over to the dugouts at the minute. No doubt they'll be shortly followed by the two teams. Just bear with me, listeners and viewers, while I just finished plotting the starting lineups. Pre-season, of course, we could have a plethora of substitutions, hopefully not too many at once. I'll run through those teams with you in just a moment. Just a few minutes away from kickoff here. We'll get going fully in a short while. Some of the management teams and substitutes are just making their way over at the moment. Here we go then. 26th of July, 2 weeks to the day before both teams' respective National League and National League South campaigns kick off. It's Dorking Wanderers against Aldershot Town here at Meadowbank. Rather brief history between the two clubs. In that first season in the National League, Wanderers didn't get a point and didn't score a goal against the Shots. They lost 2-0, 1-0 and 3-0. They also lost in the FA Trophy, of course. And then last season, well, the Shots didn't get a win against the Wanderers as Dorking Wanderers won here by 2-1, and the points were shared at the EBB in a 1-1 draw with a wonder show from the other Harrison that used to play in goal for Dorking Wanderers, who's now, of course, up at York City. As the teams take the field, Dorking Wanderers, for the benefit of our online listeners, in a red and white striped shirts, blue shorts and red socks, and Aldershot Town in their all-black away strip. Wanderers will line up, I'm reliably informed, as follows in a 3-1-4-2 formation. Harrison Folks in goal, a back three of George Franklin, Tony Craig and Brennan Camp. And then Dan Pybus, spoke to him before the game, fully fit after a wretched season and a half or so really, with injuries, particularly his Achilles. And then someone who's worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town, of course, Frank Vincent. On the left side of midfield, Charlie Carter and Josh Taylor. Jimmy Newitt, who's got a bit of history, scoring here against the Shots. And then Denon Lewis and Alfie Rutherford up top. Alfie Rutherford has come back a little bit like Lazarus 24 hours ago. He was due to join me for this commentary. But now he's out there on the pitch, so I think there's a slight scare after a bit of a knock this week. But he's fine and he takes his place in the starting lineup. For Aldershot Town, well, I believe they'll line up in a 3-4-2-1. That's Marcus Dewhurst in goal, James Claridge, trialist, and Matt Penny the back three. And then across the middle, Tyler Frost left to right, Theo Widdrington, Dayan Tetet, and Maxi Mullins. And then Cam Hargreaves and Josh Barrow playing ahead of them. So a box midfield might be the modern term for it. And then Tristan Abrahams, Aldershot Town's striker signing from Maidenhead in the close season, 14 goals for the Magpies last season. As they endured, I think it's the same rather than enjoyed, relegation to the National League South. They'll be playing against Dorking Wanderers this season in what looks an increasingly competitive division. Not only all those teams that missed out last season, but the likes of Dagenham and Ebbsfleet coming down from the National League, the likes of Totton and Horsham coming up, well backed, full of enthusiasm for their first season in the National League South. We're about to get underway here. Referee Deli Sotimirin will get us underway. He's in a rather luminous yellow shirt and not quite so yellow socks and black shorts. Aldershot have the kick-off. They're going left to right, so they're kicking away from the end where their fans are housed in the first half. And Wanderers kicking away from their infamous home end as well. Ball's quickly in touch over on the far side of the throw-in to the Shots just inside their own half. To be taken by Tyler Frost. And then, well, interestingly, there was thoughts of a foul on James Claridge, the Shots number 32. That wasn't given. He then, whilst on the floor, wrestled a little bit with Jimmy Newitt, and Dorking Wanderers have been given the first free kick of this game. 50 seconds in, and it's taken short by Pybus to Newitt. Newitt looks to give the ball back to Pybus, who floats in the ball, and it's hooked up and beyond by Brennan Camp and falls nicely for Marcus Dewhurst to get on. His clearance forward is won comfortably in the air by Frank Vincent, who dropped back and was the deepest for shots for Wanderers, I beg your pardon. Played forward, runs out of pitch, and it'll be a goal kick to the shots. If you are watching on the TV stream, the live stream run by Dorking Wanderers Football Club today, I'm Rob Worrell, and I'm also commentating on the game for BBC Surrey Online, which is why I may describe the action a little more fully than perhaps you need with visual pictures. Here's Tristan Abrahams working hard and shutting down George Frankham. Ball into touch for a throw-in in a defensive position on the right-hand side to Dorking Wanderers. 2 weeks to go before Wanderers travel to Chippenham for the season opener, and the Shots travel one of many long journeys in the season. Here comes Hewitt down the right, sends it inside. Shot comes in, and it's just wide. Only just wide from Denon Lewis, playing one of the two forward positions today alongside Alfie Rutherford. And, yeah, nice little pullback from Pybus. Lewis ghosted onto it and shot just wide. Of assistance in front of me. Just gonna, for the benefit of our live stream watchers, hold the microphone and hopefully that'll be a better level for you. Apologies if we're a little quiet in the opening minutes. 3 minutes gone now. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 0. Folks plays the ball up to Pybus, who uses Craig and then Brennan Camp, and now Hewitt picks the ball up on halfway, floats a little ball forward. Aldershot's trialist wearing the number 5 shirt. His blonde locks gets the ball into touch, throwing to Dorking Wanderers over on the far side. At least I think it's Dorking Wanderers. It is indeed, and Josh Taylor's going over as they'll set up for one of his long throws. As we approach the 4-minute mark here at Meadowbank. Healthy crowd in, bit of a dull day. We've had a little drizzle before the game. I think that's abated now. Still relatively warm. Perhaps not compared to some of the days we've had recently. In comes the throw from Josh Taylor, and it's headed up and away by the Shots trialists. Their only trialist today, wearing number 5. It's coming back though, and there's a cute little header from Josh Taylor. But positioning himself in between the two of them was Tyler Frost, who feels he was impeded as Dorking Wanderers competed heavily for that ball, but nothing given, and the ball came off Frost. It's into touch, and it will be a throw-in to Dorking Wanderers, and Josh Taylor's back where he was a minute or so ago. Meanwhile, referee Sotimarin is having a strong word with Tyler Frost, perhaps more to explain his thinking and his decision. I know he is one of the referees that will do that. Blows his whistle now. In fact, now he's running over to the Shots bench to have a word, calling his assistant referee with him as well. And he's having a strong word with the sunglassed and shorted Tommy Widrington at the moment, who may or may not have been the one that's drawn the attention of the official, but he may well be the one if any cards are shown to take one. No, sensible refereeing, just a discussion. Thought Tommy Widrington might have just about picked up one of the earliest yellow cards of the season there, but thankfully common sense prevails. And we'll get on with this Josh Taylor throw with 5.5 minutes in now, 0-0. Flicked on, off a Shots player, and for me, that should have been a corner, but a goal kick has been given. And I think poor one that from the officials, because I think it was pretty obvious to all, even in the stand here, that was a corner to Dorking Wanderers. But I guess they're only human, they make mistakes as well. Here's a ball forward. Abrahams can't take it under control. Barrett can. Barrett is then just slightly impeded off the ball. He falls awkwardly. He's in a bit of discomfort. No foul given. He's getting back to his feet now, limping a little bit. Dorking Wanderers have got the ball. Meanwhile, Tristan Abrahams crashes into the back of Brennan Camp, and again the referee gives nothing. And I don't know about others, I've got nobody to bounce off, but there's an awful lot that's being allowed to go here at the moment in the opening minutes. Here comes Charlie Carter, who goes down the left-hand side, gets the ball back, sends it back inside. Oh, and it's popped clear, and a shot will come in here. Deflection on it from Frank Vincent. Took it onto the foot of the post and goes behind for a corner. And Dorking Wanderers coming very, very close there to taking the lead. Shot deflected onto the foot of the post. And I'm pleased to say the officials have at least got this decision right. It is a corner to Wanderers. Everybody's a little bit rusty. In comes the corner. It's flicked up in the air, away from goal, headed back by Denon Lewis. It'll bounce once, twice, and over the dead ball line. It will be a goal kick to the shots. 7.5 minutes gone. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 0. Thank you very much for joining us, wherever you're joining us today. If you're watching the stream or listening to BBC Radio Online commentary, you're welcome to interact with us at BBC Surrey Sport or at Rob Worrell 66. Here's a ball over the top from Josh Barrett. That's going to run all the way through to Harrison Folks. He feeds Craig, who feeds a rather deep line, Josh Carter. Camp, back to Folks, back to Camp. And Aldershot shut it down through Barrett, and the ball disappears into touch. 8 minutes gone. Wanderers 0, Shots 0. Both sides having a pretty good pre-season results-wise so far. Injury-wise, good to see Wanderers coming into the season in pretty good shape physically. First season they've started, I think, for 2 or 3 seasons where they've actually had the majority of the players fit, much to the delight of Mark White. Here's Vincent taking the ball down. He's shut down well by Max Mullins, who wins the ball out on the right-hand side for shots. Comes back to Claridge. Claridge to Mullins. Mullins may be forced to use Claridge again. He does. In fact, he uses the touch line and puts the ball straight into touch. Good win in the first place from Mullins, and then good work from Wanderers out of possession. And we'll update our radio listeners very shortly on the first 10 minutes or so of this game. 9 gone. Will do. Ball down the right-hand side. Cameron Hargreaves is onto it. Bundles inside. Abrahams is almost onto it. And then a little bit of a heavy hand. And a free kick to Dorking Wanderers inside their own penalty area. Taken short to Tony Craig. Craig up to Carter, who's shut down. Aldershot's pressing well. Eventually the ball goes all the way back to Harrison Folks. I do indeed, Bobby. We are almost 10 minutes in here at Meadowbank, where the afternoon's getting a little cheerier. I think in that match preview it was raining. Now it's stopped, and the clouds are just abating a little bit. We await the first goal action of this afternoon. We very nearly had it after 7 minutes when Wanderers hit the foot of the post. It was Frank Vincent, a player who's formerly worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town. Here come Wanderers again. Cross into the area, half cleared, as far as Josh Taylor. So goalless at the moment. Dorking Wanderers making most of the early running, but a lively game considering it's pre-season. That cross comes in and it'll come to nothing. But 10.5 minutes gone, Bobby. 0-0. We'll keep you posted throughout the afternoon. Here's Cameron Hargreaves chasing a ball forward. Gets it now, plays it inside to Barrett. Barrett's got the ball, he's going to go around the keeper and he's going to put the shots. 1-0 up here in the 11th minute. It was good pressing from the shots. All the good work done by Cameron Hargreaves. And it's Aldershot Town's Wembley hero Josh Barrett, who continues where he left off last season. Really good work from Hargreaves. Pressed the ball back, then sent it inside. Barrett got onto it. Drew Folks rounded him and just waited to get the ball under control and then slotted it into the empty net. So after largely a Wanderers dominated opening 11 minutes, it is Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 1. For the benefit of those listening from a shots persuasion and also those watching who will have an idea of this already, Aldershot are playing two central midfielders and two advanced in what you call the number 10 positions behind Tristan Abrahams. And Cameron Hargreaves is playing in that slightly further forward role today and literally doing exactly what Tommy Widrington would have wanted from him. Pressing, hounding, the way that he does. And winning the ball back for the shots. Wanderers caught in possession and punished by Aldershot Town's number 10, Josh Barrett. Pressing well again now. Folks has the ball, clears it forward, flicked on by Mewett, chased by Frost, who gets there first, plays it down the line, picked up by Camp. Second bounce gets it under control and feeds Jimmy Mewett. Mewett's wrestled away from one challenge and then he's dispossessed by Frost, who sends the ball inside to Widrington. Lifts the ball forward for Hargreaves. Hargreaves clearly offside and the assistant referee lifts his flag to oblige. 12 3/4 minutes gone. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 1. Might just have myself a co-commentator in a minute. I've got my eye on somebody. I spoke to him pre-match. When we were due to have a Dorking Wanderers unused player alongside me. But when we get a brief stoppage in play, I'll see if I can beckon over somebody who's also got history at both clubs. Here's Vincent down the left-hand side. Lovely looking cross in. And it's steered towards goal and saved by Dewhurst. And I'm going to have to trust my eyesight here, but I think it was steered towards goal by the arm of a player who kind of pulled it behind his back. And it won't matter now anyway, because it was stopped by Marcus Dewhurst anyway. But the player who's now got up to his feet is Alfie Rutherford. And I don't think we don't have replays on the stream, do we? No, I don't think we do. So we probably won't get a second look at that. But I think as the lovely looking whipped cross from Frank Vincent came in, Rutherford met it, but he was kind of swivelling as he did, and I think his arm might have steered the ball towards the goal anyway. Regardless, it matters not. The ball was stopped by Dewhurst, and it remains Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 1. Here's Pybus winning the ball, but he can only bring it down to Claridge, who finds Widrington. Widrington's dispossessed by Jimmy Mewett, who switched on the half of Burners and looks to get away from a combination of Barrett and Tetek, who've brought him down, who've impeded him anyway. And they quickly take the free kick. And from letting an awful lot go in the opening 10 minutes, our referee, Deli Sotimarin, is seemingly in the last couple of minutes blown up for just about everything. It's another free kick for Dorking Wanderers in their own half. Carter plays it down the left to Rutherford, who cushions a header inside to get past the shots trialist, and then plays it forward looking for Denon Lewis, but it's cut out by an Aldershot Town defender, Matt Penny. And into touch for a Dorking Wanderers throw, which Frank Vincent is going to take. Gets the ball back from Pybus, plays it inside to Carter. Carter flicks it on. Vincent battles against Claridge and Mullins and fouls Mullins. Free kick to Aldershot inside their own box. 1 second. Waleed, do you want to come and join? Do you want it? Come on, go. You can either come now or at half time. Do you want to? Okay. Right, found myself a co-commentator. It's Mr. Waleed Khan, former director of both clubs, Aldershot Town and Dorking Wanderers, here with his wife to look on today. More recently been involved with Farnborough. Dewhurst out of his area, clears off the pitch and out of the ground at Meadowbank. 16 minutes gone. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 1. The goal coming on 11 minutes, and it came from Josh Barrett after tremendous pressing from Cameron Hargreaves, who won the ball back from one of the advanced central midfield positions that he's playing in today, alongside Josh Barrett. It's quite possible, as the link for our online listeners didn't go out until just a few minutes before the game, that some of you have joined us since the start of the game. So when I get a moment in the next few minutes, I will run through the starting lineups again. Obviously, we expect to see a lot of different players involved eventually in this one, but at the moment it's the 11 men that have started for the shots that are in the ascendancy. Pretty even game prior to that, and in all honesty, Dorking Wanderers had created the best two chances. Here's a ball down the left, overlapping run from Frost, sends it into the middle. Dorking should clear it, and they do. Tony Craig right in front of his own goal. Hargreaves desperately trying to make up the ground, and Max Mullins. I think Frost did everything he could. Terrific from Aldershot in transition again. They've scored one goal doing that today, and they very nearly got themselves a second. And that was in the 18th minute. Frost doing good work down the left. Squaring the ball, and Tony Craig positioning himself where you'd expect him to be. Here's a 1-2. Mullins has got the ball down by the byline, looks to square it across. It's cleared away. Only as far as Cam Hargreaves. Inside to Widrington, turns, assesses his options, sends in a ball. Headed, cushioned header clear from Brennan Camp, and now Mewett touches the ball into the path of Frankham. Frankham to Alfie Rutherford. James Claridge goes to ground, wins the ball, and ultimately Aldershot Town win the throw-in as well. 10 yards inside their own half. Tyler Frost will take. And let's give you those teams. I'll break off if I need to. In fact, let's not, because Mewett's on the way forward. It doesn't take him long to get from one end to the other. Aldershot through Claridge, poke it into touch. Wanderers lining up in a 3-1-4-2 formation today. Folks in goal, Frankham, Craig and Camp, the back three. Pybus, the holder, the CDM. And then left to right, the four across the middle. Vincent, Carter, Taylor and Mewett. And then Denon Lewis supporting Alfie Rutherford in attack. Shots play the ball forward here. Camp beats Abrahams in the air. Pybus heads it up in the air. So does Josh Taylor, and that will find touch on halfway. Shots lining up in a 3-4-2-1 formation. Dewhurst in goal. James Claridge, a trialist wearing the number 5 shirt, and Matt Penny, the back three. Frost, Widrington, Tettick and Mullins across the middle. Frost on the left, Mullins on the right, and then Cam Hargreaves and Josh Barrett supporting Tristan Abrahams in attack. Shots have won themselves a free kick on halfway. We're 19 minutes in. Referee Sotimarin tells Theo Widrington that he took the free kick from all of a yard ahead of where it should have been. Now he goes back inside his own half, floats the ball forward. It's headed on by Abrahams, but it'll drift and roll into touch down by the dressing rooms away to our right. Goal kick to Dorking Wanderers. Very nearly 20 minutes gone here at Meadowbank, and it is Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 1. Oh, good pressing from Penny. Gets the ball a long way forward. They just got there in front of the Wanderers player. Frost gets it, tries a 1-2. That's cut out by Frankham. Clears it up to Camp. Camp plays it forward, and it's cut out by Tettick. But Camp's caught late, I think, by Penny just tracking back to the left centre-back position. And there will be a free kick to Dorking Wanderers. If you got my contact details, or you want to message on Twitter at RobShot66, feel free to message in and let us know where you're watching or listening from. Somebody who's done that loud and clear is a man who's at Meadowbank most weeks and usually got a microphone in his hand too, Mr. James Lampard. Good afternoon to you, James. Hope you're having a cracking holiday out there in Mallorca with your lovely wife and the girls, and no doubt Dorking Wanderers and Meadowbank will see you again very soon. We look forward to As always, listening to your chats with Mark White throughout the season. That's assuming and presuming that you're doing that again this year. I think they'd have to tear that microphone away from you, James, wouldn't they? Is he doing it this year? He is. I'm getting a nod away to my left. Thank you. You can't get out of it that easily, James. They let you off today. That's it. But yeah, enjoy the weather in Mallorca, which is almost certainly better than it is here today. It's not a bad day by any means. It's warm. We've got a stoppage in play at the moment. I think it's for drinks as well as a bit of treatment to a Dorking Wanderers player, which I think is Jimmy Mewett, but I'm not 100% sure. So he's got his back to me at the moment. 1-0 to the Shots, very nearly halfway through the first half. And yeah, a cloudy afternoon, a little bit of drizzle in the air just before kickoff. That's abated now. There's one or two thin patches of blue cloud around, but quite a warm, nevertheless, summer's afternoon here at Meadowbank. I'm Rob Worrell, by the way, regular BBC Surrey commentator for those listening online. Probably a familiar voice for those watching on the Dorking Wanderers live stream. Perhaps not so, although I did get the privilege of commentating on Dorking Wanderers National League South playoff final against Ebbsfleet. Yes, that day. That was my first ever visit to Meadowbank. I'm delighted to say I've been double figures times since, commentated on a few games. Some of those involving Aldershot, some of them not. Commentated on the game down at Worthing, the last league game of the season. Last year before the playoffs, and also the that night at Meadow Park, Boreham Wood, where if we all could have ended the game after 83 minutes, we would have done, but we couldn't, and history went on to take its course. That means that Boreham Wood will take their place in the National League this season, and Wanderers will battle it out once again in the National League South. We're back underway. Ball's won in the air by the One Shots trialist this afternoon, the number 5. Played forward up to Barrett. Barrett turns it inside looking for Hargreaves, but rarely for him he gets that pass wrong. Vincent's onto it, plays it forward. Nice control by Denon Lewis. Can he hook a ball back in? He can. And it's followed up, and it should be followed up and scored, but isn't. Somehow, the Dorking Wanderers number 37, George Frankham, who got himself right up the pitch. As Aldershot couldn't quite clear their lines, it fell to Frankham. And he couldn't get it over the line. Here's Mullins battling away. And Folks in the end gathers. Mullins and Vincent at the other end. Quick counter-attack from the Shots. But yeah, big chance for Dorking. Other than the Shots goal, Wanderers have had the best two efforts of the afternoon. Frank Vincent hitting the foot of the post. Deflected shot that went behind for a corner after 7 minutes. And that one in the 24th. Here they come again. And Alfie Rutherford tries to drive the ball in. Shots, bodies on the line, block the cross from coming in. It goes behind for a corner. 2 Wanderers who are on top but trailing by 1-0. Big chance there for George Frankham. To be honest, only had to steer the ball over the line from a couple of yards, but there was still presence on that goal line from the Shots, and whoever it was, whether it was Dewhurst or one of the defenders, managed to get the block in. So 1-0 Shots, 24.5 minutes gone. Corner to Wanderers. Tight grouping around the penalty spot, 4 players or so from each side. Dorking Wanderers take the corner short. Vincent's out there. He's going to take on Tetek, manages to get his cross in, albeit via a deflection behind, and another corner to Wanderers. Wanderers fans, how are you going to go this season? What a competitive division the National League South is going to be. 3 teams relegated from the National League, clubs with healthy backing coming up. Corner comes in, bit of pushing and pulling, headed off the line, or cleared away from the 6-yard box rather, by the Aldershot Town defender wearing the number 5 shirt. He's a trialist, a good 6'3", 6'4", I think, strapping young lad, blonde hair. Shots fans, that if you've worked out who he is, it's not his first game in pre-season. Officially, I don't know who it is. I'm not at liberty to say. Here's Frank Vincent playing the ball back from a throw. Good lead from Rutherford, but that's read by the Shots trialist who clears forward. Abrahams and Barrett chasing back there. Abrahams looks to shut down Folks, who clears it forward. Pybus, with just one touch, steers it out to the right to Frankham, tries a ball through the middle. That's cut out comfortably by the Shot's central centre-back, the number 5. He's not even trialist A or B today because he's, I think, the only trialist. I'll have to just check the bench to see if there are any more. Here comes Penny straight through the middle, and he's stopped rather abruptly and goes down quite heavily. And eventually, although the referee didn't signal for a foul, he does stop the play. James Lampard, listening in, says he heard his mention, and yes, he confirms he will be doing the interviews again this season. And I think it's easily said, James, but you do that, you conduct yourself in a good manner. It can be quite an emotive place, can't it, out on the pitch 5, 10, 15 minutes after a game, after perhaps a sore defeat. I thought you and Mark equipped yourselves superbly after that Bournemouth defeat. I've always had a good relationship with Mark, and he's a football man, and I think he went up, even in my estimations, after that game against Bournemouth, when it would have been very easy to have thrown the toys out a little bit. 3-1 up, less than 10 minutes to go, 3 goals going in. Obviously a lot of frustration, emotions running high. Jimmy Mewett's sending off, and at the very least, Wanderers, of course, should have made extra time that night, but they didn't. And I thought both in his interviews with yourself, with Rich for Bunch of Amateurs, and with the one he did with me for BBC Surrey, Mark handled himself well and took it on the chin. Even though in that moment he found out that Wanderers were going to be having another season in the National League South, and it doesn't get any easier, does it, Wanderers fans? We just talked about some of the company that Dorking will be keeping this season. Matt Penny is going off after treatment. He looks as if he's okay. I think it was just a coming together. No foul given by the referee. He's going to give the ball back to Brennan Camp. We're back underway. The clock, listeners and viewers, says 28 minutes, but we've had a lot of stoppage in that time. Not quite sure just how much, but I would expect a good at least 3 or 4 minutes of added time when we come towards the end of the first half, unless the referee's got to be somewhere sharpish after the game today. Here's Aldershot giving the ball away on halfway. Frost has done well to win it back. He's now scrapping away with George Frankham, who can only tow it into touch. Shots play it forward. Camp looks to head it into touch, but he can only cushion his header into the path of Cameron Hargreaves, who finds Frost. Frost gives it back to Hargreaves. And Shots keep possession. Plenty of black-shirted players forward here for Shots. Theo Widdrington gets the ball under control, plays it out to Frost on the left side. Oh, he goes past his man there with ease, gets to the byline, looks to pull it back. It's cut out behind for an Aldershot Town corner. I think it's Josh Taylor back there who puts it behind. We've had a number of corners for Wanderers in the first half. Not too many, it might even be the first for Shots. Josh Barrett has retrieved the ball. Not much of a run-up, maybe only 2 or 3 steps possible in the corner there. In comes the ball, headed away by Rutherford to the edge of the area, helped on by Frankham, and eventually ends up in touch over on the far side, throw in to Dorking Wanderers in the left-back position. Going to update our radio listeners now. Thanks, Cam. Good to speak to you as always. Here at Meadowbank, we are very nearly half an hour in. We have, to be fair, only played 25, 26 minutes. We've had a number of players requiring treatment, nothing that looks too serious. And we have had the first goal of the game as well. And it came for the Shots on 11 minutes. Cameron Hargreaves in a forward midfield position centrally today. Good pressing from him. He robbed Wanderers of the ball and squared it inside to Josh Barrett, who rounded the advancing Harrison Folks and placed the ball into the empty net. So it's 1-0 to the Shots. Before that, through Frank Vincent, where Wanderers hit the foot of the post, and after that, where George Frankham had a shot blocked on the goal line. It's largely Wanderers who've impressed in the game. But 30 minutes and 45 seconds gone, Cameron, and it's Dorking Wanderers 0, Shots 1. Here's Frost pouncing on the loose ball on the left side, gets to the byline, looks to square it across, and a combination of Abrahams and a Dorking Wanderers defender go to meet it at the near post. It goes up and over the goal. For the benefit of our online listeners, Craig was there keeping Abrahams company. Goes behind the goal, and looking at the protestations of the Aldershot Town players, I think it might well have been Tony Craig that got the touch, but the referee either decided otherwise or, in the benefit of doubt, gave it to the defending side, Dorking Wanderers. And Wanderers have got us back underway with a goal kick. They trail by a goal to nil, but they've played their part in a pretty lively opening half an hour here at Meadowbank. Shots have so far won all 4 of their pre-season run-outs. They were behind at Met Police, 2-0 down actually at half-time, but came back to win that one 3-2. And I'm just going to get confirmation. Wanderers unbeaten in pre-season as well. Yeah, so 2 unbeaten pre-season records on the line. We might as well, crank it up a little bit, hadn't we? Even if everybody out there will tell you it's not about the result today. It's about performance levels. It's about patterns of play. It's about fitness. And I am, of course, your neutral commentator this afternoon. Don't doubt that, Wanderers fans. Got a big love for Dorking Wanderers. Who hasn't? Let's face it. There's a misplaced pass, a rarity there from Dan Piber, straight into touch. Throw into Aldershot halfway inside their own half. 32 and a half minutes on the clock. Dorking Wanderers 0. Aldershot Town 1. Here's Mewett running freely as he loves to do so, but across the pitch. Feeds the ball out to Vincent. Good block from Mullins, who not only wins it, but comes away with the ball, and then he's brought down by Frank Vincent, who is just a free kick. Deli Sotimarin, the referee, who loves to patrol that centre circle. He wasn't too close to it. Had he been closer, he might well have had a stronger word with Vincent, who rather cynically pulled down Mullins there. Here's Tetek playing the ball down the middle. He's looking for Abrahams. Abrahams breaks the lines, but he's just offside. Free kick to Wanderers, taken quickly by Dan Pybus and played over to the right-hand side where Brennan Camp picks it up. Exchanges passes with Jimmy Mewett, and now up to Josh Taylor, but a combination of Hargreaves and Woodrington have wrestled possession back, and then Josh Taylor takes out Cameron Hargreaves rather heavily. Talked about that end of season for shots. In fact, we'll come back to it. Here's Barrett going one way, then the other, gets the ball onto his left. Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful finish from Josh Barrett, who continues to do Josh Barrett things. He jinked one way, then the other, got the ball back on his left foot, and then shot low down to Harrison Falk's left to double Aldershot Town's lead and to double his tally for the day. The goal coming just inside the 35th minute, and I have to say, from a Wanderers point of view, that was a little bit too easy for him to advance forward there and get his shot away. And I don't know, well, don't get the benefit of any replays, but whilst I don't think there's much Harrison Falks could have done for the opening goal, where he came out as he'd have to, and the close control of Barrett rounded him and finished. He might feel that he could have done better there. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2. Mewett squeezes in a cross, and right up at the tip of his near post and the crossbar, Marcus Dewhurst has to parry it behind for another Wanderers corner. We had certainly in excess of 5 or 6 corners in this first half. I'm being pre-season, I'm not keeping the tally like I normally would, but no doubt that Wanderers have had more of the territory in this opening 35 minutes, yet they find themselves 2-0 down. Corner comes in over everybody, bouncing once, twice, 3 times, and in the end all Dorking can do is just prod it into touch. It's Tony Craig who's well forward there, and he just makes sure that Aldershot only get a throw in and not a goal kick. And Craig rather frustratingly trots back, much as George Frankham had done earlier, particularly in that 24th minute when he had an opportunity just 2 or 3 yards out to prod it in, but could only find an Aldershot Town body on the line. Here's Denner Lewis holding the ball up, but he shows too much of it to Widrington, who wins it and then provides a wall to shield possession. Aldershot win it back, and then good pressing from Matt Penny, who's well forward again. Goes back to Camp, who has to go back to Harrison Folks. Folks plays it to Taylor, and look at the bodies Aldershot have got forward. Again, they've pressed possession back from Wanderers. Barrett sends it in, Hargreaves chases, but it bounces once to Harrison Folks. And Aldershot Town have profited, really, with some success through their pressing today. They've won it back again now. Hargreaves feeds Abraham. Abraham looks inside to Tetek. Tetek back to Hargreaves. He gives it back to Tetek. Widrington rolls it backwards and across the middle to Penny. And Aldershot Town do look in really good shape this afternoon. They spent a period of time without possession. There's Tyler Frost, fouled by George Frankham, brought down in a little bit of discomfort as well, and he's just rolling on the surface at the moment. He's been given the free kick. Referee wants to have a word, I think, with George Frankham here. Got rolled. He got rolled rather cleverly by Tyler Frost, and then in his frustration brought him down. It is a free kick to the Shots. Frankham's now walking away from proceedings. I think the referee still wants to have a word with him, and he does bring him over now. Now, I've seen a couple of pre-season games, and I have seen a few yellow cards waved, and I see another one now. It is a yellow card for George Frankham in the 38th minute. To be fair, we've had a couple of incidents already in the game where cynical challenges have often brought yellow cards in the... unfortunately, they're a factor in the modern game. They're shown far more easily than they used to be for those supporters, 30, 40, 50 years old and plus. We do have replays. Thank you very much. Confirmation of that. So, not, of course, our online Surrey listeners, but our Dorking Wanderers stream watchers. If you see anything that appears to be very different to how I've seen it this afternoon, feel free to drop me a message on X or Twitter, whatever you call it, at RobShot66. Thank you very much to the gentleman who is filming the game for the stream. He's working every bit as hard as I am, but just doing it without getting any plaudits. What's your name again, sir?
Luke.
It's Luke. There you go. Now he's got to applaud it. Right, free kick then. 2 shots inside their own half. Matt Penny's going to take. 39 minutes on the clock, but very nearly. But that's the 3rd or 4th stoppage we've had in this first half. Frankham's won it in the air, but he can only send it to Hargreaves, who trades passes with Frost and then finds Dan Pybus well placed to just toe it into touch. Wanderers 0, Shots 2. That's, of course, very much for the benefit of our online listeners who, particularly at this time of year, might just be dipping in and out of the commentary. Perhaps up to other things on your summer weekends. There's a healthy crowd here in this afternoon. I'm not going to try and estimate it because I don't know Meadowbank well enough. Here's Abrahams with a shot. It's on target, but it's very, very weak, and really something that Harrison Folks, had he been wearing one, could have thrown his cap on. He isn't. Here's Rutherford being held up by the Shots trialist, wearing number 5. Dawkins square it across the pitch. Taylor's involved. Now Camp. Camp looks to take on Theo Widrington. And then a strong clearance from Tyler Frost, who definitely made a lot of contact with the ball, and perhaps a little bit of Brennan Camp as well. Camp, who's had he's no stranger to serious injuries himself, of course. He's had a couple of long spells out. He's up and running back to mark Tristan Abrahams. Of course, was at Maidenhead last season. 14 goals for them, but shown enough for Tommy Widrington to sign him as his own side got relegated. Here's Matt Penny on the ball for Shots. Lovely touch inside to Tetek. Gets the ball back, gives it back to Tetek. Tetek buys a bit of space, sends it down the line. And again, it's just flicked on by Frost, but he's been caught as he does so Aldershot have won the ball back again through Penny. Widgington sends it forward. Abrahams has left Camp on the floor, and he's still got the ball. He's running into the penalty area now. He's in, and he shoots at goal, saved low down to his right by Harrison Folks. The ball's gone behind for a corner. The referee signals for some treatment to Brennan Camp. When we get back underway, I believe it will be a corner to the Shots, who lead by 2-0. We're in the final 4 allotted minutes in the first half. And the Sun's trying very, very hard to get out here at Meadowbank. Hopefully in the second half, I will have a co-commentator alongside me, and it will be Mr. Waleed Khan, former director of Aldershot Town and director of Dorking Wanderers, working for the Army FA these days, and has been working up the road at Farnborough as well. So he'll come and help me with this very balanced commentary. And it's a privilege for me today to do this commentary, both for BBC Surrey Sport and also for Dorking Wanderers Football Club. So it's a debut of sorts for me. 2 clubs very, very dear to my heart. 2-0 to the Shots. In terms of the scoreline, pretty even game really. Otherwise, Wanderers perhaps slightly more territory, certainly more corners, probably more half chances, and a couple of very clear-cut ones where Frank Vincent and George Frankham have been denied, one by the post and one by clearance on the goal line. So Brennan Camp is going to be okay to carry on, but meanwhile the Shots have got this corner, and it's taken by Barrett inside to Hargreaves. Sends the ball in, that's cleared away. Tyler Frost is the deepest Shots player. He'll come onto it now and he'll float a ball in. Harrison Folks comes, flags up anyway for offside. Folks claims it. Folks goes down. I think he took a little knock as he got the ball, but he looks okay. And he rolls the ball out to Tony Craig, but I think somebody else. In fact, it's Harrison Folks that might need some treatment now. Good to see Tristan Abrahams and Brennan Camp just meeting and greeting again after that coming together, and a little handshake between them. And yeah, we have got another stoppage in play here. It's going to be a substitution. Maybe it's not. Maybe 1 or 2 players have just wandered over for a drink. I'm going to have to ask for a bit of help here. I'm not sure what this stoppage in play is for. Does anybody know? Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that can't fathom it out. It will be, when we get underway, a throw-in over on this near side. Tony Craig put the ball in touch because he was asked to stop the play. And fittingly and sportingly, Max Mullins throws the ball straight back to Harrison Folks. And it's still a mystery to me. Maybe not you viewers. You might have seen something I didn't. But nevertheless, we're back underway. We're in the 45th minute now. Be interesting to see just how much added time is shown on the board in the next minute or so. Oh, I've got some help here. Sorry, sir.
One of the players seems to have gone off. Nobody coming on.
Okay. I think one of the Dorking Wanderers players has exited the pitch. The number 4, Dan Pybus, but no substitute has come on as yet. Thank you very much, gentlemen, listening around me. Much appreciated. It is a nice 1-2. Cross comes in, cleared away by Shots. Tetek finds Barrett on a hat-trick already. 2-0 Shots. Widrington sends the ball out to the left. Frost is galloping forward. He's got Hargreaves there for support, but he skips inside of Frankham. Tries a shot. That's blocked. Tries to get on the rebound. He can't. Widrington can. Widrington finds Cam Hargreaves. He skips inside. Squares it to Barrett. Barrett, edge of the area. Back to goal. Twists one way, then the other. Now back out left to Frost. Frost tries a ball in. That's blocked by Dorking. Frost brings it back down again. Makes his way towards the goal line. He's got Josh Taylor for company. And the ball finds touch. Taylor must have nibbled and got something on it. The throw has been given to the Shots. There you go. Luke Moore back on the pitch for Wanderers. A shame to see Dan Pybus, who's had his injury problems, of course, over the last couple of seasons, particularly with his Achilles, leaving the pitch just before half-time. Let's hope that's just precautionary. I'd say he kind of walked off rather than limped off. You may have seen that if you're watching the stream. Here's Aldershot winning the ball from their own throw. Theo Whittington on the ball, goes back out wide to Tyler Frost. Frost has got an underlapping right, sends in the ball, cleared away by Camp. Only as far as Tetek, who does well, hooks the ball back round, sends it out to the left. Tyler Frost should be able to get something in here, puts it back onto his right foot. Now he sends in across with his left. And both Mullins and Abrahams were attracted near post. The ball went far. Mullins had hands on a Dorking defender, or it wasn't a defender, in fact, I think it was Frank Vincent. And referee Sotimarin, well placed to give the infringement. So now, in the commentary, I missed the board. Did the board go up? How many minutes we got? Oh, wow, there you go. We've had 1 minute 45 seconds. And Deli Sotimarin is as laid back about the added minutes as he was about refereeing that first half. We must have clocked up at least 4 or 5. But the half-time whistle has gone. And here at Meadowbank, it's the Shots who lead by 2-0. 2 Josh Barrett goals. Aldershot pressing well out of possession and scoring on the transition. Josh Barrett with both goals. Dan Pybus going off just before half-time for Wanderers. We'll be back both online, BBC commentary, and the Dorking Wanderers live stream for the second half.
Times to go fan zone, also open during the half-time break. If you fancy a half-time beverage, there's also a designated
Right, that's Waleed Khan, former director of both clubs. I'm Rob Worrell. Thanks for joining us again, live on BBC Surrey Sport Online and also on the Dorking Wanderers live stream of today's game. I love commentating. I love these teams. Here's the bit I've been dreading, and I think they've been good. They've been kind to us, Waleed, haven't they? I think we're at the stage in pre-season where, thankfully, players are starting to go at least an hour, aren't they? Because I don't see much in the way of changes here. In fact, in the Aldershot Town 11, I can't see any. Maybe on this left side of midfield. Yes, Tyler Frost appears to have gone off. Other than that, it's the same 10 players. But what we have got for Aldershot Town is the number 19 has come on, and a quick glance at our team sheets will tell us that it's Ryan Hill, who I should have recognised, but do you know what? When I saw him, he had longer hair and he dyed it blonde when he was at Dagenham, so that's my excuse. Ryan Hill on for Tyler Frost in a pretty familiar position, I would think. Right, now I reckon 2 substitutions for Dorking Wanderers. That's just been confirmed by Dan over the PA. George Frankham has gone off and Denon Lewis has gone off. Jason Pryor has come on for Wanderers. And also the number 3, Jordan Norville Williams. So 2 changes for Wanderers. That's it. Should be a straight swap with Norville Williams coming into that place vacated by Frankham, who's largely on the left side of the 3 Wanderers centre-backs. Here's Carter quickly getting himself onto the ball. Lewis Story's on as well for Wanderers. I missed that one. I would imagine he's come on for... Or did he come on for Brennan just before? Oh no, Brennan Camp's still on. Here is Camp into the penalty area, pulls the ball back, slotted home, not cleared off the line again by Aldershot Town, whose goal has led a little bit of a charmed life up to this point. Here's Luke Moore sending the ball in again. It's cleared away by Theo Widrington. Vincent's picked the ball up, sends it out to the left to Norville Williams. Sends it inside to Frank Vincent. A minute or so just over. Smart footwork from Norville Williams. Plays it to Vincent. Vincent's offside. So we just got one more player to work out who's gone off Wanderers. Moore came on, didn't he, in the first half. He came on for Pybus. Charlie Carter is still out there as well. Tony Craig is still out there. So Camp has moved forward a little bit, I think, at the moment. And there's a back header from Tony Craig to Folks. That's what it is. Well, Jason Pryor's come on for Alfie Rutherford. No, in fact, he's come on for Denon Lewis, hasn't he? So there's your shuffle. You mentioned, of course, that Alfie Rutherford's not out there either. So there's your 3rd Wanderers player that's gone off. Sorry for the confusion. Could have been an awful lot worse, couldn't it? I suspect it would have been. Sometimes, it might have been easier. Oh, there's a little bit of a shimmy in possession from Harrison Folks. For the benefit of our online listeners, Aldershot were pressing again with so many bodies forward. They've profited in the first half, and they look as if they're trying to pick pockets again, Waleed.
That was very noticeable in the first half. The high press, there was 5 and 6 black shirts all in and around.
Right, free kick then to Wanderers, just inside their own half. Charlie Carter thinks about taking it quickly. but eventually decides to leave it for Craig. Craig finds Vincent. Vincent to Norville Williams on the left side. He can't get past Mullins, so he comes inside to Moore. Moore to Lewis Story. What a change of circumstance for him from one end of the country to the other. He's made the trip down like Dan Pybus did, albeit from different location. Here's Jimmy Mewett, who's looking a lot freer to wander, isn't he, in this second half? I think he's pushed forward to join Pryor. Camp's pushed further forward into where Mewett was, and here's Norville Williams making good progress down the left. His path is blocked, and Aldershot have won it through Barrett, who sends it forward, chased down by Abrahams, and Tony Craig very cleverly nicked the ball off him, left him on the floor. Oh, absolutely. You might not get the first touch, but as long as you read the second, you're okay. Exactly that. Here's the Shots trialist wearing the number 5 shirt, saying very much the same to Frank Vincent as he nicks it and threads it to Theo Widdrington, whose sideways pass is cut out by Lewis Story. And now Luke Moore feeds the ball to Frank Vincent. Wonderful player, Mark White, signed there, very versatile. Here he goes down the left, gets his cross in. It's cleared up and away from Claridge, headed on by Ryan Hill, working defensively for his team out of possession there. I'm not going to say that Wanderers have burst back into this in the second half, because they were in it throughout the first half as well. They were denied twice. For the benefit of our online listeners, our viewers will have seen, Aldershot did a little bit of a sandwich there on Jimmy Mewett, and referee Sotimarin was well placed, and he's let an awful lot go today, but he didn't let that go. He's given Wanderers the free kick. Norville Williams helps Jimmy Mewett to his feet. So, Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2 is the current score. It was also the half-time score. 50 minutes have now elapsed. And an opportunity for Frank Vincent or Jordan Norville Williams to help. They could just lift it over the defence and try and get the second ball, but I think Norville Williams fancies a pop at this one. Yeah, Vincent's moved away. Here's Norville Williams. Lovely struck free kick, just high and just wide. No more than a foot high or wide of the goal. Beyond the clutches, of course, of Dewhurst. He's not going to get up there, is he? And he didn't need to. Goal kick to the Shots, 2-0 to the Shots. Your thoughts on the opening 5 minutes of the first half, Waleed Khan?
Certainly seen Dorking move the ball a lot quicker. There's a lot more players getting forward. Certainly want to see Charlie get forward to the game.
That's the royal we, isn't it? You're giving it the we. You see, you're showing your colours. You'll say we when it's Aldershot in a minute, Waleed. We'll forgive you. This man, listeners and viewers, has put tireless hours of effort in for both football clubs, and he very genuinely loves both of them, as I do. The sun has come through here. It's just that I've only loved Dorking Wanderers for 3 or 4 years and Aldershot for 51. That's the only difference. The ball's back with Harrison Folkes. He sends it out to the left where Tony Craig has made himself available, and he's galloping forward now, finds Carter, shows to go one way just to try and see off the pursuit of Theo Widdrington. Plays it forward. It's cut out by Claridge, but only as far as a Wanderers player, and then Wanderers themselves give it away. Aldershot go back to Marcus Dewhurst, and a long clearance from him. Tristan Abrahams is beaten in the air by Craig, but onto the loose ball is Josh Barrett. He's rampaging forward through the middle, skips inside of Josh Taylor. Is he going to try an effort from the edge of the area here? Good little nick from Luke Moore. Dispossessed him, took the ball off him. No foul, says the referee, and rightly so. And eventually the ball ends up in touch on halfway for a throw-in to the Shots. And, well, the script was written. It is written for JB to do something else special in this game. I mean, he's done 2 very good things already, hasn't he? Absolutely. Really put, I think I called it wrong in commentary the other way around, but he put the icing on the cherry The cherry on the icing on the cake, that's what he did. I got it wrong again, you see. I'm going to have to let that phrase go. Here's a flick on. Aldershot of one possession again. Hargreaves on the edge of the area, clips it into the area for Hill to chase. He cushions a header down to himself, sends a cross back in. Good leap from Maxi Mullins. It's cleared away. Norville Williams helps it on. Vincent does too, but Mullins positions himself so well to profit from that touch. It's played forward towards Abrahams. He can't get a touch on it. And through it goes to Harrison Folks. I've seen some pretty timid pre-season friendlies, and this hasn't been one of them. It's been pretty intense, and both sides with an awful lot of pride and wanting to impress their managers. Little counter-attack there from Dorking Wanderers was stopped by Claridge, but now Aldershot come into the other end with Hargreaves. He skips inside, tries the shot. Oh, it just skims the outside of the post to the left of Harrison Folks and goes behind. Good effort there from Cam Hargreaves, who got a little bit of a taste for goal at Aldershot last year, all in 1 month, wasn't it? He got his first goal, and I think by the end of that month he'd scored 4. And he has loved the position he's been given today in those 2 number 10 forwards. Not a position he's played too much for shots, but he's relished it, hasn't he? And he did all the work for that first shots goal.
That was very interesting, actually, last season, seeing that. And again, seeing this dual number 10 roles coming in. And it just gives that extra momentum to get the forward players being able to move out. And then the gap opens up because the defenders are naturally looking for those normal attacking players. And those 2 number 10s very
Right, we've got a player down from either side. It's Max Mullins getting a bit of treatment for shots, and I think Tony Craig, is it, for Wanderers. Meanwhile, the clock says 52 minutes and 48 seconds. Heaven knows how much added time our referee's going to add, because I counted at least 5 minutes in the first half, and he played 1 minute 46. I think he's got a gig tonight, don't you? Very happy birthday, not that she'll be listening, I'm sure, but to Tommy Widrington's wife Sharon, whose birthday it is today. I know Mr. Widrington's got to scoot off pretty quickly after the game. Another substitution there, was it, Waleed? Or not? Okay, let's keep an eye on that one. Frank Vincent is who Waleed's referring to. Is Dorking playing the ball forward, Ryan Hill cutting the ball out. One of 2 players Aldershot have signed that were in the National League last season, but their sides got relegated. One, Tristan Abrahams at Maidenhead, and the other one, Ryan Hill for Shots. And, apologise for any language you might have picked up on the sound effects microphone there. Fair to say Ryan Hill wasn't too happy with which way the throw-in was given. We move on. Here's Josh Taylor sending the ball out to the left side. It's a good header actually from Max Mullins, and he's got the second ball and he's looked to volley it. He's tried to hook it over his head, but he's actually ended up hooking it into, I don't know what is the other side of those fences. Somebody, very nice house and with a very nice garden, I think. So they'll find another ball and we'll get back underway. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2. Both goals coming from Josh Barrett in the 11th and the 35th minute. Thank you very much indeed. Number 30, Josh Herbert. Kwame Thomas is coming on for Shots. He'll replace Josh Barrett. And I think we talked about Josh Barrett's moment, his moment at Wembley, his wonderful, wonderful goal. He doesn't score that goal without the leap of the season from Kwame Thomas, who loves it at Aldershot. He's back for a 3rd spell. Is the ball in from Dorking, headed away by the trialist wearing the number 5 shirt. Picked up by Dorking on the edge of the penalty area. Carter back heels it into the path. Cross comes, my goodness me, corridor of uncertainty. It went past everybody and it then went out for a throw-in to the Shots. 50. Yeah.
Then you saw a moment of Charlie Carter
He's a classy player. And I think I can say this 5 or 6 years later, a player that Gary Waddock tried very hard to sign. In that same season that Will Evans left Aldershot and went to Chesterfield, Charlie Carter went to Chesterfield as well. I think Chesterfield had 3 players in their team that day that Aldershot had tried to sign, or 2 they tried to sign and 1 they tried to keep hold of. Here's Pryor in possession for shots, and well read by Matt Penny. Combination of Penny and Tetek have won the ball back. Here's Tetek sending it forward to Hargreaves. Hargreaves looking to run alongside Lewis Story. Will he cut inside him and get a shot away? He looks for Tetek. Tetek calm, onto his right, onto his left, and he overstretches. And he can't get his shot away. And Theo Widrington tries to stop Herbert, who's straight into full flow down the left-hand side. He's skipped past Claridge. He's down by the corner flag, back onto his right foot. Sends the ball inside to Jimmy Mewett. Mewett back to Herbert. And now Josh Taylor picks up the ball. Aldershot have got back into a better out-of-shape position. Twisting one way, then the other, Taylor. And then eventually Theo Widrington sticks out a foot and sends it behind for yet another corner. It might be close to double figures today in terms of corners, Dorking. Aldershot have had 1 or 2. And that just gives you a feel for how Dorking at times have dominated the territory today. But it's Aldershot who've been the more clinical.
Defensive coaching staff are going to be really delighted with that. That was very, very good, because Dorking did break and they did have players up, but Aldershot players got back into the defensive lineup very, very quickly, and that looked good.
And just to bring our online listeners up to date, just while Waleed was talking there, the corner was taken by Dorking and headed wide. It's a goal, well wide. It's a goal kick to the shots, which they've taken short. Claridge sends the ball forward, and wow. Very, very nearly did Kwame Thomas and Cameron Hargreaves both get in there, either side of Lewis Story. It was marginally offside, and I concur with that decision. It matters if I do or don't anyway, because it's been given. But it's a dangerous line at the back at times for Wanderers, isn't it?
They're playing a very high line, and both those players up front for Aldershot. They have got pace.
We're going to update our radio listeners. I am indeed, Bobby. Thank you very much indeed. We've got a little bit of sunshine here now. Scoreline-wise, it hasn't changed. It's still 2-0 to shots. Josh Barrett getting both goals. He won't go on to complete a hat-trick today because he has now gone off. We've started to get, as you often do in pre-season friendlies, quite a lot of substitutions now. The second half is much the same as the first, where Dorking are in it all the time. They're pushing, they're probing, they're winning quite a lot of corners and getting quite a lot of territory. But Aldershot are defending stoutly and pressing very, very hard at the other end. We'll give you another update, at least one more before the end, Bobby. But at the moment, it is Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2. Here's Herbert sending the ball out to the left side. Norville Williams keeps it in. Pryor's in the middle. Can he find him? The cross is driven into the side netting. And it looked close. It looked good. But ultimately, Waleed, it's a waste of possession, isn't it? Wonderful player down the left side, Norville Williams, of course, came from the club that you've been most recently at, didn't he, Farnborough? And here's Charlie Carter doing what Charlie Carter does and finding a Dorking player in space. That is Camp. Camp exchanges a couple of passes with Josh Taylor, who skips inside now, sends it out to the left, just goes across the chest of Mullins, finds Norville Williams. Herbert back to Norville Williams. Ball comes in, cleared away by the Aldershot Town number 5. And I'm calling him that because we officially do not know his name. He's a trialist, but he's a repeat trialist out there for the shots in pre-season. He's been doing well. Here's Cam Hargreaves winning the ball off Moore, making another run forward through the middle, sends it out to the right-hand side. A little effort on goal, is on target again, but rather too easily saved. Tristan Abrahams not quite firing pre-season for shots. He's had 2 efforts today. They've both been on target, but both very, very weak.
When I saw that signing, I thought, wow, good player, great pace. Yes, he seems to be.
Mewett with the counter-attack. Herbert's onto it. Dewhurst out of his goal. In it comes again. Headed away by the trialist wearing the number 5 shirt. Followed up by Josh Taylor. Blocked. And Aldershot looked to clear it. Cameron Hargreaves with a bit of an up and under, as they used to call him in the rugby days. There's another one back from Folks. One in the air by the trialist wearing the number 5 shirt. And then Ryan Hill goes in for it with Camp. He misses the ball. He catches the man. It was a good, honest attempt from both players, but no doubt that Hill caught Camp and he's down. Not sure if he's winded or he just took a bit of contact on his shoulder there. He's always in the wars, but he's such a wholehearted player, isn't he? And I think Dorking Wanderers need a fully fit and available Brennan Camp, like they need a fully fit and available Jordan Norville-Williams to give them that energy and that pace down those flanks. Here's Moore with the free kick into the penalty area. Kwame Thomas does a job on Jason Pryor, is how I'm going to describe that one. He got himself in the right position. He held him off, and he literally held him off, didn't he? Pryor was kind of on his back. The ball drifts harmlessly behind the goal. It'll be a goal kick to the shots. The sun is shining through more brightly than it has all afternoon. We've got 62 and a half minutes on the clock. We've got 2-0 shots on the scoreline from both goals from the now departed Josh Barrett. That is the end of Jimmy Mewett's afternoon. And he has now been replaced by Jack Saunders, the number 35 for Dorking Wanderers. Goal kick to the shots taken by Dewhurst. Bounces once. Thomas and Carter battling for the ball. Theo Widrington sticks a foot in, but he can't stop the break, and it's played forward. And Matt Penny's chasing back and does well, gets a foot on it, and then controls it and holds it up, uses his experience. An awful lot of VFL experience he's got. Goes back to Dewhurst, sends it long. Moore wins it in the air. Hargreaves plucks it out of the sky and makes it look so easy. And then a follow-up. Ball over the top, looking for Ryan Hill. I think Hill didn't quite switch on the afterburners because he suspected he was offside. That was confirmed by the assistant referee.
His experience makes there, just so calm.
He's a player that's really highly regarded, and but for serious injury probably would still be playing in the EFL, isn't he? Here comes Charlie Carter. He's found himself a bit of space on the right-hand side. He's got Tetek now for company. Feeds the ball to Camp. Camp gets it back from Carter. Ball in. Bit of an odd one. I'm not sure if it was meant for Herbert or Pryor. Pryor wasn't sure either. He's cleared it. Abrahams has controlled it nicely. Mullins has moved onto it. He's played it down the right-hand side. Will that stay in play? Yes, it will. Abrahams is onto it. He's got a forward run inside him from Kwame Thomas. He's carried it into the edge of the penalty area. Skips inside, back to Hargreaves. Hargreaves now out wide to Mullins. Mullins shows one way, then the other. Cross comes in. Head of Lewis Story clears it. Theo Widrington picks up the loose ball, finds Tetek. Tetek's into the penalty area, drives for the line, tries to get the ball in. He tries to get the cross in. It comes back off of Carter. There's contact with Tetek again before it goes behind. And that's the reason why Tetek's got his head in his hands. He can't believe it's a goal kick, but I can. Yeah. There you go. All right, we're going to have another substitution. Let's see. It's an Aldershot Town one. I think we're going to see Meerholtz for the shots, at least, and probably Hadi Gandor as well. So could that be the end of Tristan Abraham's afternoon? He wouldn't know yet because he's not looked over his shoulder. But when we restart, it'll be a goal kick to Wanderers. Theo Widrington is going off, so he'll be replaced by Jed Meerholtz. in the centre of midfield, who's on loan from Bristol City. And I've got word in from the Stokes family that tell me that Aldershot have got themselves a pretty tasty player on loan. Josh Stokes, of course, at Bristol City. Hadi Gandor has come on, and well, rather surprisingly, Tristan Abrahams is still on the pitch, and I momentarily... Oh, it's Tetek who's gone off. Yeah, they're very forward. I think you're bringing on Hadi Gandor, who's, unlike last pre-season where he did everything but score, has been prolific. I think he's got 5 goals in this pre-season already. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. A lot of injury problems. Of course, he had a couple of spells at Farnborough. The first one was prolific. The second one was ended abruptly with a shoulder injury that kept him out. Here comes Dorking on the counter-attack, and Carter's onto it, bursts into the area, pulls it across, and again, an Aldershot Town player is positioned well to clear off the line. It's James Claridge, who I've got to admit has impressed me today. Matt Penny has impressed me as well, and so has the trialist wearing number 5. It's a great bit of play from Hadi Gandor to dispossess Luke Moore. Now he offers the ball inside to Herbert, and then just takes on one too many Dorking Wanderers players. The ball's in touch. It'll be a throw-in to Dorking Wanderers. I guess we are going to find over this final 25 minutes or so that it's going to be a little bit stop and start. Taylor gives the ball away here. It's picked up by Abrahams. Abrahams back to Claridge. Mia Holtz with her first touch of the ball, wearing orange boots, looking rather striking against his black kit. Goes back to Penny. Penny up to Kwame Thomas. He's being held, and his knockback, or what seemed to be a knockback, only finds Jason Pryor. Wanderers pick up possession. Josh Taylor in possession. Feeds the ball back through Saunders to Craig. Craig aims the ball out to the left. It's cut out by the head of Max Mullins. Norville Williams keeps the ball in play. Sends it inside to Carter. Carter's feeling the presence of the number 5 shirt. Feeds the ball to Norville Williams. Turns it around the corner back to his teammate and his captain, Charlie Carter. Now out to left. Cross comes in. It's cleared away by James Claridge, only as far as Saunders. Saunders finds Norville Williams. His ball in is cut out rather easily by James Claridge. Held up by Kwame Thomas. Thomas tries to feed Mullins. Mullins gets his feet in a tangle. The ball goes forward, finds touch. Throw into Dorking Wanderers. What a pace this game's being played at for a pre-season game. You've got, of course, some tired players out there and others coming on, desperate to make an impression.
It's humid out there as well, definitely. So, yeah, credit to the players to keep going.
Yeah, it looks like a number of players are perhaps going to hit that 90-minute mark for the first time. We're in the 70th minute at the minute, so at least 20 to go. Maybe the referee will add a couple of minutes on. Just depends what time his gig is tonight. Pretty chilled in the first half. He turned 5 added minutes into less than 2. Here's Dorking on the counter-attack. Claridge wins the ball, breaks loose. Hargreaves wins a 40-60, somehow gets there in front of Saunders. And now Matt Penny can come forward. And he's got Kwame Thomas free on the right side if he sees him, but he feeds Hadi Gandor. Gandor ventures inside. Can't hold the ball up. Dorking get a foot in. Taylor, I think it was Lewis Story who needs the credit there. Taylor back to Luke Moore. Moore up to Saunders. Herbert and then Saunders, and now Norville Williams, who's running against Max Mullins, checks his run, comes back, ball inside to Luke Moore, shouts man on, keeps hold of it, finds Herbert. Herbert finds Norville Williams. There's a lot of aspects of Dorking Wanderers game that I think Mark White's going to be really happy with today, but ultimately he won't like the result. He won't like the way his side were picked off a couple of times. Ball into the air is cleared away by Aldershot, held up by Abrahams. The referees stopped the play for something here, and we're going to play, let's guess what the referees stopped the game for again. Now he wants to have a word with Abrahams and Carter, maybe? I don't know. He's a difficult one to read. Yeah, Carter's getting involved, and Carter gives Abrahams a little cheeky pat on the shoulder. And we move on. In any case, the referee has decided that it's a free kick to Aldershot. And as you'd probably expect pre-season, it's been a pretty scrappy second half. Lots of changes. Here's Meerholz. Goes back to Penny, who gives the ball back to Meerholz. He finds Gandor. Gandor out to the right. There's a shrill whistle, but it's not from the referee, and we play on. Gandor drops the ball back to Hargreaves. Aldershot have lost an element of control that they had on the game. They've still got the scoreline in their favour. Here's Meerholz feeding Gandor. Gets the ball edge of the area. Throws the ball into Kwame Thomas. He's inside the area and he shoots straight at Harrison Folks. And he'll be as disappointed with that effort, Kwame Thomas, as Tristan Abrahams will have been with his 2 week efforts. Very unselfish play from Hadi Gandor there. He's got a hatful of goals in pre-season. He could very easily, in the form he's in, have gone to his right and got a shot away. Shots have pressed it back and they've won it again. It's Hargreaves on the run. Tries a little prodded through ball to Gandor. It doesn't come off. Dorking play it up to Pryor. Pryor holds it for Josh Taylor. Taylor for Camp. And then Camp back to Taylor, and Taylor inside to Harrison Folks. We'll update our radio listeners in a short while. Don't look back in anger's going out on the radio. Here's Aldershot pressing again, and Kwame Thomas, the ball just runs away from him. Had he got it under control, it would have been 3 against 1 for Aldershot. It is pre-season, of course. Dorking are 2-0 down. But they're certainly not leaving much at the back to defend. I'm going to update our radio listeners now. Thank you very much, Bobby. It's still 2-0 to the Shots. And the same pattern that we've had all afternoon has continued, really. Dorking, lots of positive energy going forward. And Aldershot looking quite clinical on the counter-attack. They could, just a few moments or two ago, have got themselves a third goal. Kwame Thomas, though, shooting straight at Harrison Folks. Prior to that, Cameron Hargreaves had curled one against the outside of the post. Lots and lots of substitutions now. We're into the final 16 and a half minutes, and it is Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2. Waleed? Oh, I absolutely add my own to that, Waleed. I wasn't around in midweek and I wasn't aware of that, but sorry for your loss, Ian Morseman and the Morseman family and everybody that knew. Morsey's mum, wonderful servant to the club, wonderful servant to the game. Charlie Carter's afternoon is over, and he has been replaced by Jake Lawrence in the Dorking Wanderers midfield. Good headed winner from Matt Penny. May have had his injury problems, and I don't know. I know that he hasn't played a lot of football in the last couple of seasons, but he certainly looks in good condition. That's for sure. He's looked after himself, and he's going towards a full 90 here. And I have to say, Aldershot Town have had their work cut out in terms of a lot of serious injuries to central defenders. And they finished last season with 3 low-knee youngsters, all of them 21 or under. All 3 of them played at Wembley. and did themselves proud. Dan Ellison saving his first ever Aldershot Town goal for Wembley. So Tommy Whittington's pretty much having to start again. He's still got Ollie Scott, he's still got Ollie Harfield, but they're still coming back from long-term injuries. Certainly the back three that they've had out there today all look tall, strong, mobile and good on the ball. No, or a head. He hasn't put a foot or a head wrong. Aldershot have got one or two other players they could bring on in defensive positions. I mean, namely Archie Taylor, of course, although he might play a bit advanced. But good to see those centre-backs getting a good workout. And their sheet is clean, a little bit fortuitously at times. One's been blocked on the line. One was deflected onto the post. But they've put the bodies on the line. As for Wanderers, well, they got very little to show for a pretty industrious afternoon. Herbert there just pokes the ball into touch, throw into shots 5 or 10 yards inside the Dorking Wanderers half. We're inside the final 15 minutes. And it remains 2-0 to the shots here at Meadowbank. Go back over the seasons, of course, Waleed. And the very first season they met, Aldershot won 1-0, 2-0 and 3-0 in the league and in the cup. And then last season, they couldn't get a win against Dorking. It was a win for Wanderers here and a draw at the EBB. Here's Hadi Gandor rampaging down the left, squares the ball in. Half-hit shot from Ryan Hill. He didn't really get hold of it. Good play from Gandor twice. Been in the goals pre-season, but he set up two teammates. Kwame Thomas first, Ryan Hill then, who haven't delivered the finish. Here, good defence from Claridge for shots. He can't get onto that rather overhit pass, but he did do well to disrupt the Dorking Wanderers attack down the left. 1065 the attendance this afternoon. A healthy 1,000 plus crowd. Good to see the fans here in their red and white and their red and blue. Is Gandor chasing the ball. Lewis Story gets there first, finds Camp. Inside, good play from Wanderers this. It's surely got to be a handball. I think the referee's missed it. It was behind his back, but he definitely changed the course of the ball. The trialist wearing the number 5. Hadi Gandor's in possession here. He sends it out to the left. He's looking for Kwame Thomas. He's into the area. He shoots. It's blocked by Tony Craig. And Jordan Norville-Williams will pick up the loose ball. And to be honest, for all Dorking Wanderers industry, on the counter-attack, Aldershot should have increased their lead in the second half.
Should have done there, definitely. And I think number 5, that was the only mistake he's made. But he's got away with it. So blatant handball, probably red card, had the referee picked it up because he was the last man as well.
Yeah, it might have been a bit harsh in pre-season, but Dorking Wanderers will feel it's a little bit harsh. Now, this isn't a sight we want to see. Matt Penny is down. Let's hope it's just a bit of cramp and nothing more serious. This is the unknown territory, Waleed, isn't it, for a player like Matt Penny who's been out for a couple of seasons. Now the referee, I think, has come over, and I think he's got his book out, and I think it's probably for... Is it dissent for Ryan Hill? I'm not sure. But it's the second yellow card of the afternoon. Hopefully it's just a touch of cramp. He's walking off rather than limping. And Aldershot are going to make a change. Let's see if it is Keane Anderson is going to come on. Oh. And we've got a substitution also for Dorking Wanderers as well. Gabriel Jacks has come on. I've also got on a Dorking Wanderers player on this right side that isn't listed on the team sheet, wearing the number 34 shirt, Richardson. So Yeah, forgive us, listeners and viewers. If you're viewing, hopefully you'll have just as good an idea of who's gone and off as I will, but it is rather chaotic in pre-season. You now got at least one player on the pitch who's not even listed on the team sheet. Here's Mere Holes, battling for the ball with the aforementioned Richardson. He's won himself and Dorking Wanderers a free kick. We've got 9.5 minutes left of the 90 here at Meadowbank. Wanderers 0, Shots 2. Luke Moore, first time I ever commentated at Meadowbank. He bundled one in at that end, and it's a very famous goal in the club's history. Everybody knows which goal I'm talking about. In comes the corner. Now, the number 5 trialist for Shots and Brennan Camp have both gone up for it, very committed, and I think they've clashed heads. The number 5 is now sitting up, and Brennan Camp, brave lad that he is rubbing the top of his head, which in itself, I guess, is a good positive sign that he's conscious. But 3 members of the medical team have run onto the pitch. We're going to have another stoppage in play. Quick word from you, Waleed, on Wanderers' challenge this season. I think Mark thought and hoped that they might just make safe passage back to the National League in the first season. In the end, it didn't happen. That rather unfortuitous night at Meadow Park didn't go their way in the end. But it gets even harder, doesn't it, with 3 clubs coming down from the National League, clubs coming up into the league with good budgets, well backed, former league clubs, clubs like Dagenham who have to make a positive impression. Yeah. Yeah, some really good signings. A really hungry young manager in Angelo. And even yeah. And even yeah.
And Matt Briggs from here, so they've been spending as well. It's going to be very, very tough, I think.
I know Spencer won't like it at Farnborough because they always love to go under the radar, but what about the striking pair they've just signed from Ebbsfleet? Here come Wanderers down the left, squared across. It's a little bit weak, and it's dealt with comfortably by Dewhurst. It almost spilled it out behind the goal. Here's Ryan Hill battling away. He sends a dummy, but he sends it to himself as well, and then he wins it back. Now he plays the ball through to Kwame Thomas, who's broken the lines. He's not offside. He's got to the byline. Plays it back to Hadi Gandor, who's set 3 players up. In fact, he's set Kwame Thomas up twice and Hill once. Maybe he'll have a shot himself at some point. He finds Hargreaves, who gives the ball to Mere Holes. Mere Holes looks to go round Lewis Story. Lewis Story says you're going to have to go the long way round. And then Shots play it forward. Hargreaves isn't going to get there, but he knows Shots have got the throw, they've got the territory, they've got the scoreline on their side, and they're very soon going to have the clock on their side as well. We're approaching 84 minutes here at Meadowbank. Dorking Wanderers 0, Aldershot Town 2. Number 5 has done the 90 minutes. Yeah, Cameron Hargreaves, but that's no surprise. He's on Duracell. He always is. Not too many. Throw-ins taken. Referee's spotted something, and he's given a goal kick or a free kick to Dorking Wanderers. And then he blows his whistle to say Harrison Fawkes has kicked a moving ball. Yeah, I think when you look at the starting lineup for Shots, I think it might just be those 2 and Dewhurst, of course. Dewhurst, the trialist, wearing number 5. Oh, is James Claridge still out there as well, or has he gone off now as well? He is. James Claridge is, isn't he? Has Lewis Evans come on for him? Looks like the end of the... Josh Taylor going off. number 31, Cavallero's coming on. Again, he's also not listed. Yes, he is, I beg your pardon. Seb Tauta Caballero, number 31. So all sorts of changes now. Hayden Vaughan has come on now. Yeah. And, I didn't see it, but Claridge has, over on that far side, gone off and been replaced by Archie Taylor, as we thought he might be. There's good backtracking from Meerholtz. Wins the ball. Feeds it to Ryan Hill. Hill up to Gandor, who holds it up and wins the free kick for Shots. One thing, having not seen the last 3 or 4 Aldershot Town pre-season games, I see a very composed Hadi Gandar down there. You know, he looks like he's now got the goals that pre-season ones, but he's got the goals that his work rate always sets him up the opportunity for, and he just looks that little bit calmer and composed.
I think that is a fantastic observation, because he was so keen when he made 2 or 3 of his comebacks to get involved. Possibly might have been his downfall, but today, yes, he's waited, he's been calm, got his head up, and he's not panicked, and it's so good to see him being that calm again, because he can deliver. As you're saying, 5 goals in pre-season, so that's great.
His Story coming forward, sends it left to Norville Williams. Little exchange from Wanderers on the left, but the ball ends up in touch, and it was put there by Jake Lawrence. So throw in to the Shots, halfway inside their own half. And we're into the last 3.5 minutes of the 90 here at Meadowbank, in what's been a lively pre-season encounter between Dorking Wanderers and Aldershot Town. The Shots leading 2-0 with 3.5 minutes to go. Thanks to those 2 Josh Barrett goals. They've won the ball back again here. Good pressing. Gandor's fed Thomas on the right-hand side. And now the ball's played up to Rye, who's come on as well. Ball out wide to Kiban Rye. Vaughan plays it back to Keane Anderson. Now back inside. Picked up by Kiban Rye. Squared to Meerholtz. Into Hadi Gandor. Shot over the keeper. And he just manages to get an outstretched right hand on it and steer it behind for a corner. And there again was that composure from Hadi Gandor, who made up his mind quickly, went for the lobbed finish and very nearly pulled it off.
And it was very nice to play. He was more inside than he was playing out wide. He was more inside that forward position, and that's where he's very good.
Corner then to the Shots. In it comes from Vaughan, headed down, picked up inside the area by Meerholtz. It's squared, and there's Gandor again. And he gets a shot in from the 6-yard box. It was always rising, and it rises just over the crossbar. Goal kick to Wanderers, 2-0 to Shots, 2.5 minutes to go. His Story gives the ball to Camp, who goes back to his keeper. And Wanderers will try and build once again from the back. Is Moore shut down by Kwame Thomas. Referee gives Wanderers the free kick, and Kwame Thomas helps Luke Moore up. Thanks for joining us today, wherever you've listened in or watched in from. We've got about 1.5 minutes of the 90. Tell us a little bit about him, position-wise and stuff.
Great energy levels, and I hope he gets a run. I think he'll probably be put out on loan to get more first team experience, but yeah, so he's come out here on the left. But his industry and his energy, box to box, at the academy, and last season when I saw him play a couple of times for the first team here as well, he's great. I love him.
There's a little bit of heavy-handedness on the halfway line from Jed Meerholtz, and he takes out the Dorking Wanderers number 31, Caballero. Dorking take the free kick, and up and under, over the top, plucked out of the sky, on to Caballero. First time shot drifts wide. It's still going to be kept in play over on the left-hand side. Norville Williams gets the ball. Lawrence onto it. Lawrence, a little clip ball across to Luke Moore. Moore advances towards the penalty area, but then he's just outnumbered and knocked off the ball. Vaughan sends the ball back into the path of Hadi Gandor. Gandor, again, shows good composure. Norville Williams pokes it into touch. We're just past the 90-minute mark. Did they put added minutes? No. So we're playing guesswork again. The game will end when the game ends, when the man in the middle with the yellow shirt decides he's had enough and he's got to get off to his gig tonight, whatever that gig is. So 2-0 shots, 30 seconds over the 90. Referee checks his watch, and somehow he'll divide 4 or 5 minutes into about 1.5 again. No, it's just whatever it says on his watch. I mean, looking at his position, the referee, look, over on the far side. He's not even jogging back. He's just walking. There it comes. We knew it was coming. The final whistle, a very enjoyable pre-season game this afternoon here at Meadowbank. Has been won by the shots, but really good workouts for both sides. And here with his thoughts on the afternoon from a Dorking and an Aldershot point of view is former director of both clubs, Mr. Waleed Khan.
As for the Wanderers, well, they are back on the road next Saturday for our final pre-season fixture ahead of the 25-26 campaign getting underway. We travel over to Farnham Town for a 3 o'clock kick-off at the Memorial Ground next Saturday, August the 2nd. It will get underway probably the following week as we travel down to Chippenham Town for our Enterprise League South against Chippenham Town. 3 o'clock kick-off Saturday, August the 9th.
Absolutely. Good to see. A lot of handshakes out there and a good feeling generally between the two clubs. There are 1 or 2 little moments that have put that in a little bit of jeopardy, but great to see that Mark and Tommy got their heads together and arranged this game, because for you, Waleed, for me and for a lot of people that live in the Surrey area, it's great to see these two sides doing battle. Oh, bless your heart. Well, I mean, listen, listeners, Waleed and I are personal friends anyway, and we haven't had a chance to catch up for a while, so I've enjoyed your company as well, Waleed. Good luck with all the work you're doing at the Army FA, working alongside, of course, the co-founder of Aldershot Town Football Club, Graham Brookland, and what a wonderful man he is. And he, like so many, will have enjoyed that special moment at Wembley.
Oh, we talk about it regularly, but yes, fantastic place to do work.
Good stuff. Thank you for joining us, listeners and viewers. We'll bring the Dorking Wanderers live stream commentary to an end now. I may stay on air on BBC Surrey just to do a full-time report to radio. But thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Waleed Khan. And thank you to your lovely wife for the coffee at half-time. Thanks, Kay.